This conference will now be recorded.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Nacogdoches County Chamber Stakeholder Conference call. This is the first one for July, and we're glad to have you along with us now. Please note that it is being recorded, so your comments will also be available later. The presentation will be available later on the Chamber's YouTube channel. Just want to make sure you know that we do invite our media to join us, and we love to see stories coming out of these calls, so just be aware that the media is attending as well. Today you have me, Kelly Augustine, COO at the Nacogdoches County Chamber. Our CEO, C. Wayne Mitchell, is traveling the country, and we're very happy he's getting time to spend with his family. I think he's showing his 3 grandsons what it looks like in Maine, and he and Bonnie are able to show them some things and visit family up there. So we wish them well. But Sherry, Sharon, and I are all in the office, and if anything comes up, you need the chamber, please don't hesitate to give us a ring or stop by. So today's presentation actually came about prompted by our county judge, Greg Sal. He sent out a letter. Commissioner Dolly actually sent it over to us, making sure that the chamber would help promote an upcoming forum that's coming to Nacogdoches on August 1st concerning economic development. I know that that is very important for our East Texas region, and this is actually a regional event. So today's featured guests are representatives of our region. We have Cathy Bennett. Cathy came to East Texas in 2005 and immediately became very involved in the community. She served as the Property Owners Association of Ivanhoe and Tyler County, and then was actively involved in its incorporation in 2009. I'm a Tyler County native, Cathy. I grew up in Cominale, so I have friends that live in Ivanhoe. She then served as council member until 2014, at which time she became mayor and served in that capacity until December of 2022. During that time, she served on the DECCOG board and on the DECCOG Economic Development Committee. She is currently chair of the Texas Forest Country Partnership and president of the Tyler County Chamber of Commerce. I'm thrilled to have a fellow chamber exec on the call today. Joining her is David Brandon. David also serves on the Texas Forest Country Partnership Board of Directors as a vice chair. He's been very involved in the forum that we're going to be discussing, and Cathy's already mentioned he might be doing a lot of this presentation, but I'm sure they're both going to give us some good reasons why we should register. By the way, I am already registered for the forum on October 1st, and what it's going to mean for our county as well as the East Texas region. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to David and Cathy. And let me know whenever you would like me to start showing the slides.
Okay, first I'm going to go ahead and say my little bit. I'm here representing, of course, the Texas Forest Country Partnership. And I'd like to thank Kelly and all of you for having us here today. We're all excited about this forum that has been created. It's the Forum for Rural Economic Development. They call it FRED. I love acronyms, right? And this is something that has been developed through CARI, which in case any of you haven't heard, CARI is the Center for Applied Research and Rural Development through SFA. It's been a perfect blend of efforts because our goal at the Texas Forest Country Partnership, of course, is economic development within our 12-county region. And it just blends with what they're doing. We're about economic development, but we're also about advocacy. And this, I'll tell you, is really important. I know as being mayor of a very small city in a very rural county, how important advocacy is, how important it is to have our voice out there. And that's one of the things that Nancy does beautifully. And of course, in conjunction with the Center for Applied Research and Rural Development, it's a perfect match. And what they have come together and developed this Forum for Rural Economic Development And sadly, when the first one that they presented was in Tyler County and I was out of town, there was no way I could be there. I have not been able to attend one. That's why I'm going to turn the bulk of this presentation over to David, who has had that opportunity. The one thing that I did do was talk to a lot of the people in Tyler County that attended, and they told me how much value they got out of it. We had our judge, we had county commissioners, we had big businesses, we had our small businesses represented. We had a really wonderful cross section of people from the county, and it was really interesting, as they told me, to hear the different viewpoints and to share and to communicate. So I'm really encouraging everyone to attend this forum on October. Kelly said October 1st. No, it's August 1st. Anyway, you'll get a lot of value out of it. I encourage everybody to register and to get as many people involved in it as you can, because it's really worthwhile for your county. It's worthwhile, and they're doing one in every county in our region, in the 12 counties. I will be attending one just to see how the whole presentation worked. I'm just really sorry I wasn't able to attend the one in Tyler County, but I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to David. He did attend the one in San Jacinto County, and he has a lot to share with you. David, you're on.
Thank you, Cathy. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for allowing us the opportunity to come visit with y'all today and tell you a little bit about the FRED. It's a very invigorating experience, to say the least. It actually, in our community, which we're a small county, we're just 40 miles north of Houston, Harris County, but we're right on the border of the Nacogdoches region. And so we're in that growth pattern that everybody's experienced a little bit of right now. And so economic development is a big thing for us. We're actually building a center using economic development funds, this $2 million innovation center in the county, so we can do more to encourage economic development. So the FRED, we went out and gathered the names of shareholders in the county, being school districts, emergency management people, the public's really important in there, churches, businesses, everybody and anybody in the county that's impacted by economic development, and brought them into a environment where they're outside of their norm. We actually put them in the driver's chair of economic development so they can see what all is involved with it. It's quite enlightening. I think, Kelly, that you have the slides and you can show them anytime you want. And I kind of go through and show you, explain to you, because it's a multi-step process. Everybody in the FRED that attends it will be involved in it. And there's multiple steps. Dr. K, I cannot pronounce his last name, so I don't want to do him any injustice, so I just call him Dr. K. Highly intelligent, has a lot of information there. Ms. Hall did an excellent job of facilitating the activities. And I say activities because that's part of the process. And then we had what is called the churn. And the churn, y'all will really enjoy. You'll see a slide in a minute with everybody's got hats on. And that's the part where you're taking the people and putting them in roles, like in our case and all the other ones, you have the county judge there. We take somebody from the public or one of the businesses or entities, and they volunteer and they take the place of the judge on this exercise. And then you'll have law enforcement, you'll have first responders, you'll have businesses, and it's really, really invigorating to see what happens through this process. What we found out in our FRED was that the people in the general public and the business realms and the schools and everything else, when you start talking economic development in our scenario, we were so closely related to during the exercises that a lot of our thoughts and processes, which is what you see on the board back there, were duplicated from different groups. Every table was a different group. And it was enlightening to see that out of all these tables and everything was in there, how many duplications of what everybody was thinking was going on. and it helped share the thought pattern and the outcome of the whole process. It's really a great learning tool, especially when you bring people in who've never been involved with economic development. And a lot of people in there go because they hear the words, but they don't really know what's involved with it. And they left out of there with a whole different sense of what it actually is and how important and vital it is to the community and bringing the people together with the public and the different entities. It was a very worthwhile program. I encourage everybody in the community to attend it, especially your elected officials, because a big, broad eye opener to them on what to expect, what people think, how they think, what they think economic development is, and it gives you the tools to kind of go in there and create the atmosphere to make it accomplishable in your community. And the feedback is just phenomenal. It really is. I was well impressed with this. First time I've ever attended anything like this. And Nancy and Lacey, they did a phenomenal job in putting this together with Carrie and everything. And it's really vital for the East Texas region, Nacogdoches, to us, to Matt, to all the counties in the DECOG region, to embrace this new concept of working together to encourage economic development as it's moving through our community from the south, because that's what's happening. It's moving from the south up. I was listening to a study the other day, and it was kind of an eye opener that by the year 2100, New York City and all those large cities outside of Texas will actually be overshadowed by Texas, and Houston, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas are supposed to be the largest populated cities in the nation by 2100. So it sounds like it's a long way away, but really it's not. It'll be here, before people know it. And doing things, outreaches like this is really going to be important to how these communities grow in the future and develop economically. And it also reduces, when you bring this business in, it helps with your local residents' property taxes, because you're offsetting one for another and bring the businesses into the community. And that's key. That is the key fundamental part in getting these groups to work together and understanding how that process develops. So anybody have any other questions or anything about it?
Well, I want to jump in just to thank Cathy for correcting my mistake. I think on that last slide, everybody saw this is happening on August 1st in Nacogdoches County. So thanks again, Cathy. I think Commissioner Brandon addressed some of my questions as far as who should attend. I know the Chamber's going to reach out to our past leadership classes and other business leaders, because it seems to me this is a perfect opportunity for people in all these different areas of our community to be able to express where they see economic development is needed and could grow. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's absolutely one of the baseline foundations of the FRED, is to bring the people together so they have a better understanding. They can open up that line of communications and see where you're at now, where you want to go, and let the leadership know what the expectation is. And because might as well face it, growth is here. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to go away. It's how we're going to handle it and direct it. It's going to be the benefit of the community, and bringing the people together and letting the public participate in this. Generally, in most areas, the public don't get the opportunity to interface on things like this. And bringing the chambers in, and bringing the schools in, and all your entities, businesses, and the public, and putting everybody together in a room and sharing the ideas and participating in the outreach and the program and that churn. That churn is really, really probably one of the highlights of the whole thing. And it's really a great way to communicate across the board with everybody on an equal par level.
Great. I know you mentioned the growth happening in certain parts of our state. Do we have a future outlook for East Texas for any industries, whether they're startups or transplants? I mean, are we going to see more activity in East Texas?
I think from what I'm hearing is you're going to see a lot of activity in East Texas. Our county is 60% national forest, so we're really limited at this point in time, but I think probably over the years you'll see the national forest divest themselves some of that property because it's inevitable. But I think the growth, if you've been looking on some of the news broadcasts and business news, like the city of Houston, a lot of the companies are moving out of downtown Houston and they're moving out into the more urban areas, rural areas, because tax base is different. They got more land opportunities for growth. We have right next to us in Liberty County is Burlington Northern is relocating one of their rail lines right on our county line, and that's going to open up a whole different line of trade through the East Texas region. So yeah, I see a lot of growth coming through East Texas to Nacogdoches and all the surrounding areas. Y'all are in a little bit different position because not only do you see people moving from the south, but you're going to see the business entities moving down from the north also, from the Dallas Metroplex area and Texarkana. So we're in a prime, East Texas is in a prime position for growth while managing the national forest and protected areas that we have.
Did anyone else have a question for Cathy or David?
David, this is Gary Ashcraft. I am a former chamber person, economic development person, and we're in our community. There's been a real massive effort to involve citizens in a particular bond issue that's coming up. I've noticed a lot of story there. Do you, in your area, have one? We have NEDCO, which is our economic development team. They do a great job. Do you have folks in your area that are dedicated to not just to one thing, and that is making sales calls and to the kind of industries that you want? Have you kind of through this process figured out what would be a fit for your region? Or Cathy, you might have something to say about this too, because I think if we sell to those kind of companies, we'll probably bring them in. I've had experience with that. Does that question make any sense at all?
That's a very good question, Gary, actually, and that was one of the focal points we had in our FRED. We don't have an economic development director in the county. We have 2 chamber of commerce in the county. And that was one of the key points, key elements that we had in our discussion. We found out is we probably need to, we need to head off in the direction of getting somebody to do just what you're talking about. Reach out to these corporations and companies and market the county for what we have. We're not going to be, San Jacinto County is not going to be a location premium to the industrial complexes of Pasadena and those type areas. We're Piney Woods. Our baseline is ag, just like a lot of other parts of East Texas. And so we need, in the planning process, is what do you want for a neighbor is a good question to ask. Do you want a chemical plant there, or do you want some, like in Tyler County when they brought in the pellet mill and stuff like that? And with that came in the people that manufactured the grills and everything. So what kind of business do you want to encourage to come in? And that gives you your controls on which way you're going to grow and how you're going to develop.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. You're on my track, and I do agree with everybody. Kind of needs to know what's going on. You need to have citizen input, that kind of stuff. NEDCO does a great job with that. They're also focused on what does the infrastructure look like. How can we improve that? And I think everybody, as you said, have been brought together to talk about those issues and continue to do so. So, okay, thank you.
Well, thank you, Gary.
I have a question. I'm Erin Wyndham with the Nacogdoches ISD, and I'm curious about how obviously the school district could take a role in getting the word out to our families. There's a lot of families that we can reach through at least our website and our social media. But I'm curious, in your areas, what are some ways that you work to get maybe some underserved pops or historically excluded populations to know about the meetings and kind of get the word out to the far reaches of the community?
Well, and that's another good question, because we're in part of that area with the broadband that's basically labeled as underserved. And matter of fact, I'll be going to Lufkin here, I think next month or later this month for that broadband deal. And getting the word out is essential to progress of any community. I don't care how big or small you are. It just happens to be the larger the jurisdiction, the easier it is to get it out, because you got more outlets there than what we do. The school districts are a very vital part of it, because not only do you have the audience there to encourage, it's also a growth opportunity for them to understand what's coming in the future. And at the same time, in our county, we have no universities or colleges. Okay, we have 2 school districts, but we actually are served by several others, because we have in one part of the county, it goes to the school district there goes to Cleveland and Liberty County. Another part goes to Willis in Montgomery County, and in the northern part they go to Huntsville and Walker County. So our platforms are very diverse as far as schools. And what we're trying to do is use economic development in this forum to point out that disparity, because when you do that, now you're looking at your census data is not going to be, exactly in line with what you're looking at. And that's a big issue, especially when you come into grant funding. Now, with that being said, what we're trying to do with our economic development with this building that we're doing is we're wanting to bring in, like, that's one of the key points with Stephen F. Austin being involved in this process. We can bring in universities to come in and do trade schools, because in East Texas, face it, the reality is a lot of people aren't going to leave the center of East Texas, Piney Woods, to go to a major college and university. They're going to be more inclined to go into the trades. And you have to have those specialized trade skills in order to be able to operate any kind of a business or growth company, because you got to have that skilled labor force. And that's one of the prime areas I think that East Texas has to offer on any business realm, is that skilled labor, whether it be a welder, somebody's in the logging business, mechanics, plumbers, pipe fitters, electricians, those specialized trades. That you have to have those in order to have any kind of construction baseline to build off of.
Well, thank you, guys. Any other questions before we move on to any reports? I'm going to do one quick shout out for the details of this forum.
We'd just like to thank you, Kelly, for the opportunity to be here, and I'm sure that you'll disseminate all the information about time and place and everything. So thank you all, and hope to see all of you there in that forum.
Have a blessed day, and thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for your time. You're welcome to stay on the call and hear some other updates from our area leaders. We will follow up. We, being the chamber, will follow up to our membership. This is already posted on our website at nacogdoches.org. And thank you to Brent McElmore at SFA for giving us the link for registration right in the chat box. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a free of charge forum. You can come in, lunch provided, and it's from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. on August 1st at our county courthouse annex meeting room right there on West Main Street. And again, just to highlight the presenters and facilitators in this forum, we have, of course, a welcome from our judge, Greg Sal. We have Mary Ann Rojas with Carrie, and Dr. Mikhail Kuliovsev with the SFA Rushi College of Business will be doing a presentation, as well as this, I'm curious now, the churn. I heard Commissioner Brandon say that a couple of times. So the churn will happen with Nancy Wyndham at Texas Forest Country Partnership. And looks like wrapping up, we're going to hear from Chamber of Commerce President Kelly Hall there from Longview. And Kelly's actually spoken to our chamber group a couple of times. So we know we won't be disappointed with her time with the group. This is interesting to hear how this is going to work with the region. And I hope maybe when it's all said and done, I'm not sure, I think I saw a list of the different dates in different counties, but will we hear or see some results as far as what's gathered once it's all done, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Kelly. I'd interject in here is once it's all done, everybody that participates in each jurisdiction will get a report on what the outcome was and the whole system as a whole. And I'm hoping that the region will get together and sit down and discuss it together to kind of, because we're all in it, and we need to communicate that.
Well, thank you for your part in this. Thank you both.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, well, I don't see an SFA representative that wanted to give a report. I will mention that orientation sessions are in full swing. So we want to make sure each week our businesses are ready to meet and greet these people, the students and their families that are coming into our communities. They're going through orientations. We had a showcase Saturday not too long ago. And this is a wonderful way to welcome them to your business and your products and your services, because they'll be living and visiting Nacogdoches. Moving on, Casey Foster with Nedco is on the call. Hi, Casey. Do you have an update for us?
Good morning, everyone. I really enjoyed y'all's presentation. Of course, I work for the Nacogdoches Economic Development Corporation, so it's a special place in my heart, and I've got to go to a few of the CARI meetings and kind of see some of the behind the scenes. So we're really excited for the forum, and we're sharing it with our membership and members and whatnot. So very excited there. Along with the Chamber and the CVB, we've been participating in SFA Showcase Saturday and orientations, and I believe there's 3 or 4 more coming up in July. So we're really excited to just continue to welcome people to Nacogdoches and have them choose SFA as their home. So it's been awesome stuff going on here, and we have some good projects going that we'll be able to share more about soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. We'll be seeing you soon. We have, I believe, Cassandra Stokes is on the line from the Small Business Development Centers. Cassandra, would you like to give us an update from your corner of the world?
Hey, sure. So a Small Business Development Center, as most of you guys know, we help entrepreneurs start, grow, expand, buy, and sell small businesses. And in the summer, we like to feature different sessions and stuff to help all of our small business owners. You don't have to be a client to attend them, and they're always free, but we have 5 different ones coming up this summer. And so our first one is next week. It's on the 18th of July, and it's recruiting strategies. So we help small business owners define what top employees are for them, or what kind of employee they're trying to attract for their particular business. And then we help them develop strategies and then evaluate those strategies. And that's this particular summer event. And we'll have a follow-on to that a month later in August, I believe. It's August the 22nd. And that one will be employment strategies and how you retain those A team players. And so A player team members, sorry. And then our third one is an introduction to Microsoft 365. We are doing that one for a second time because it was so well attended, and we had requests to redo that. That's to help small business owners know what Microsoft 365 actually does. It does a whole lot. And one of the things that we found in our previous one that we did was that people didn't realize what OneDrive does in 365, and that's a resource that a lot of small business owners can use. So we'll have a follow-on to the introduction class on July 25th in August for that. And then our 5th one And final one is August the 15th. We're doing an introduction to QuickBooks Online. Uh, and so we'll have some QuickBook pros there to help us talk to small business owners about how QuickBooks can help their businesses. I'll go ahead and put a link in the chat that will take you to the details so that you can look into it further. Again, you don't have to be a client. It's free. And so if you or someone you know you think can benefit from any of these workshops or sessions, we'd love for you to pass on the link. That's it for me.
Well, we are so fortunate to have you and the team in this area. What a great resource. We'll be sharing that information that you just posted as well. I'm sure a lot of our members would like to know about those opportunities.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, any other questions for Cassandra?
Oh.
All
Sorry.
right, that's okay. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to these reports.
Okay.
All right, so we heard from Erin Wyndham earlier, and we'd love to hear what's going on at NISD, if she can fill us in on that.
Well, as I'm sure you know, back to school is coming up really quick, even though we just got out. August 16th is the first day of school, so be aware of your traffic patterns and speed traps. I don't know if we call them traps, but anyway, school zones is what I meant. Also, August 1st is the first day that teachers come back, so they will not be able to attend the Fred, which that just clicked when we were talking about this. So I hate that this time, but hopefully we'll get teachers and employees in the room for some of these conversations, but we'll get school district people there for sure. And we're just gearing up for everybody coming back on campuses. So summer's closing in on us. It's over.
You know, as the daughter of a retired public school teacher, I understand what you're saying. It's like as soon as July 4th hits, then it's back to school. So yeah, she treasured every moment of summer vacation, no matter what the ads were saying. I'm going to jump in real fast with a report from Caroline Garner, our president and CEO of the Nacogdoches Area United Way. They are right now meeting to discuss allocations of funds for the next year. This is the United Way Christmas in July, where our local United Way does give the funds and commits funding for many of our good nonprofit agencies here in our county and beyond. So she mentions that. She also wants everyone to save the date to attend the annual fund campaign kickoff event. It's going to be at Bonita Creek Hall on Tuesday, August 29th, and plan to help kick off the fundraising for those allocations. So you'll get more information about that soon. I'm also going to open up the floor to other updates. I think we might have someone who has an exciting update for us. Mr. Gary Lee Ashcraft.
Here I am, unless my phone falls off. If y'all see me falling off the desk, it's because I'm not using my computer. I'm using my phone for various reasons. Sawmill Six Man, if you don't know, is the most prevalent NIL right now for the university basketball team. We're not affiliated because we can't be exactly with the university. We work closely with the athletic department and so on. We just did a really cool thing with Nacogdoches Memorial Hospital. The guys all showed up. If you haven't seen them come to an event, they light up the room. I can tell you, when 7 foot young men and step into the room, they're very kind, they're gentlemen, they're very engaging, and I think everybody enjoyed them. When I asked Amelia Commander if she'd like to have them at the Live After 5, she certainly did, and it really worked out. So we've got those guys moving around to schools and what have you. They're working closely with the Boys and Girls Club right now. A lot of these guys, they're not prima donnas. They're from very, very poor backgrounds. I was in their chats are quite interesting. I was watching the chat go by, and they were talking about working with the kids at the Boys and Girls Club, who, for the most part, are a lot of underserved kids. And one of the guys says, to another guy, this is kind of where we came from. And so just to have the example of those guys as role models. I'm already getting feedback from some of the leaders of various schools and what have you. We were in the schools, Aaron going to Carpenter and things like that. Just getting great feedback on them. So I guess my ask is for if you have some event coming up or something you want to kind of spice up a little bit, let me know, and it might be a fit for the Lumberjack basketball team. And by the way, they're going to be very good this next year. Coach Keller has recruited some powerhouse players. We expect big things out of the team. It'll be an exciting season. It's a little early to talk about basketball, but trust me, it's in the air, just as we're looking forward to football and all the rest of the things that happen with SFA athletics. So, Kelly, that's the best I can do for today. I'm going to sign off now unless anybody has any questions. I will say about the United Way, there is an event. I'm sure the chamber has it posted. It's on Facebook on Friday night. It's from 3 to 7, I believe, at the cottage where wine is sold for Hope, helping other people eat. And Sharon Dennis is one of their big volunteers there that pushes and had asked me to be sure to mention that anywhere I go. So if you want to have a date with whoever, or just go by yourself like I will, because Charlotte's on a girl trip, so look out Nacogdoches. It's Friday night would be, I'm going to go about, if you want to see me perform, I'll be there probably about 6:30 or so, 6 o'clock. So there you go, just a little extra, Kelly, push for the agencies of the United Way.
Well, thank you for that. I'm glad you mentioned it. Just letting you know, photos and videos can be easily acquired through cell phones, so Charlotte might see more than she needs to while she's on her girls' trip. Just remember that while you're out there moving around.
She has a chip in me. I don't do anything out of the way because I will be talked to if I do. So all is well.
That's great. Does anyone have any questions for anyone on this call or an announcement about our community that needs to be made? All right, I'd just like to give everyone a chance to do that before I move into some chamber announcements. Let me tell you, it's a great time here in Nacogdoches. Some upcoming ribbon cuttings we have for this month. The Zion Hill Baptist Church Historic Site will be next week on Tuesday at 11. I know that's generated a lot of excitement in our community. Also that same day at 4:30, we'll be cutting the ribbon with the Parks Advocacy League at McCrimmon Park on Woden Road. And then later, last week of this month, we'll be celebrating with a new business in Nacogdoches, Vexus. So look for that on our calendars. The Alive After 5 this month is hosted by Ferrara's Heating and Air Conditioning. That'll be on July 20th, starting at 5:30. We have our monthly eggs and issues, and this month it is a legislative update. I was assured by Wayne that one way or another, session or no session, our Representative Clardy and Senator Nichols will be able to give us a report. It may be online or in person, but it will be a good meeting, and hope you can make that on July 27th. It starts early at 7:30 a.m. We're also offering this month our quarterly chamber liftoff. And this is a wonderful way for a new member, an existing member, you've been in Nacogdoches for 150 years member, to come make sure you understand everything the chamber is doing and offers members so that you can do more in your business with our chamber. For business success, we want to support business success in Nacogdoches. I also would love to go over our annual award recipients this year. We just announced that late last week, and it's still kind of a neat time when we can congratulate them as we get ready for our annual meeting and banquet in September. So Small Business of the Year was awarded to Woodland Woodland Hills Golf Club, medium business of the year is Eubank, and large business of the year, Motorhomes of Texas was named for that. Our Citizen of the Year, Dr. Steve Westbrook, former president of SFA. We have our Nonprofits of the Year, great Nacogdoches organization, Solid Foundation Association. And again, we are awarding a Lifetime Achievement Award this year to Dr. Robert Lehman. So again, we'll be honoring them at the annual meeting, but you'll be getting more information, including feature stories on each of those leading up to that. And I did mention SFA earlier, but I thought it might be worth throwing this in. The cheer and dance team is running the Spirit Flag program now, and they just announced they have a brand new, unique design Spirit Flag available for SFA Centennial Celebration. There's an online ordering system for that. You can get it from the chamber, you can get it through SFA, but we certainly want to see all that purple flying around town. And we do have a position posted. Open position is at the chamber. It's event and program director. That application, or excuse me, that position description is posted online on our job board at nacogdoches.org, and also our social media sites. You can find links on there. So if you know someone that might be interested, please ask them to look that over. All right, well, this has been a great call. I can't wait for August 1st for our Nacogdoches Fred meeting and all the good things that are going to come from that. At this point, I'm going to sign off and wish everyone a productive day and a wonderful week ahead.